There's this book I read called Atomic Habits. I'm going to talk to you about how to apply it for your health and fitness. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Jeffrey Butts, and I'm a doctor of dental surgery, and this channel is all about health and wellness for you to be healthy and wealthy. And today, we are talking about how to make this thing all come together, all right? I say that your health is about what you do and what you don't do, what you eat, what you don't eat, all right? I always say that food, sleep, exercise, detoxification, and mindfulness behavior is actually in your focus of control. And there's a lot of things that you can't control, but you can control that. And if you're going to control that, well then, you know, you might need some help in that, all right? So there is this beautiful book, right? It's called Atomic Habits. You may have heard of it. It is by a guy named James Clear. And let's just talk about how we can apply this to our health goals, right? First of all, the book is amazing, all right? And what makes it amazing is because he talks about like what makes a habit or why one would have a habit at all, okay? Now, the word atomic, right? Atomic habits. Our cells are made up of atoms, right? And that's the smallest part of the cell. And an atom is mostly empty space, right? And if you can control these atoms, then the cell can be controlled, and then you have even more control over the organs and all that other stuff. So to be something that, or to have something like an atomic habit, what we're saying is that you're just doing one small thing, and you're doing it a lot of times, and the next thing you know, you will have gone 1,000 miles, walking right to the things that you may want, which this channel is all about health and wellness. For you to be healthy and wealthy, well, this book right here is absolutely that, all right? So let's talk about a habit. We have habits, I have habits, all right? Habits have 4 sections to them, right? You get the cue. So the cue is like what makes you say, look at that. Then you get the craving. And the craving is like, man, I think I want to do that. That's the thing that I'm into. And then as you get that feeling in you that makes you want to do something, then you do something, and that's called the response, right? And then after the response, the reason why you did it in the first place was because you get a reward. You get that dopamine hit. You get that thing. Now, a habit. Let's talk about cocaine real quick. We're going to talk about cocaine real quick, all right? Real quick, cocaine, all right? You may see the coke on the table, right? You may snort the coke on the table because it was on the table and you know how good it made you feel last time, and then you do it, but that dopamine hit just isn't as high as the first time. It's not like the first time. As a matter of fact, you might get more high thinking about getting high on cocaine than actually doing the cocaine itself. All right, that was just cocaine, right? I digress from cocaine. Now we're on some things, all right? So let's say you want to lose weight. Let's just say, right? And I say, hey, and you know what I say, hey, you got to make sure you're taking care of your food and you're getting enough water and you're getting proper amount of sleep, all that stuff. Okay, all right, Dr. Butts, sure. I hear you, doc, but how do I do it? All right, so here's some things, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is make it obvious, right? So if you want to change some behavior from the book, it says you want to basically change your environment. And your environment is the one that's going to show you the cues. It's going to be the one that says, hey, don't you want to do this now? Which is why it's actually good to have a clean house, to make up your bed, for things, so that you don't do things in a slovenly, slothish way, so that you are a clean individual that shows up on time, or at least shows up, all right? And when you show up, you're ready to do whatever you gotta do, all right? You wanna make it so the cues are obvious to you. My mom loves shrimp. She loves shrimp, but she's an A blood type, and seafood is not good for her. That's what we have found. As a matter of fact, when she eats seafood, she usually gets a runny nose or a coughing phase or something like that. That's just what happens. I had a girl that was working for me, with me at the office. She was a B blood type. They say that the B blood types are not supposed to eat chicken, right? This poor young lady, whenever she ate some chicken, she would be coughing and sneezing and snotting all the time. And after lunch, I can always tell. I could say, you had some chicken, huh? She'd say, yes, I did. Yes, I had chicken, all right? So then how could you do that? You could plan your meals. You could plan something super delicious in your blood type so that you're not going to break down and get the things that you shouldn't eat, right? So that's where meal planning, meal prep would come in, because you are preparing yourself to get the reward that's simply good health, okay? Your response would be to eat it. The reward would be your good health. Your day's productivity starts the night before or the day before, right? So you could get yourself a list of the things, not that you have to do, the things that you get to do, because there's people that are not able to do what they want to do because of various reasons. Some people are sick and they cannot. Some people die in their sleep and they cannot. But we are blessed to have woken up this morning, and we are blessed to plan for the day coming up, right? So what we can do is we can plan what we want to see happen in the next day, the night before, right? And in doing that, watch how many things you get done. Now, if we're talking about just health, if it's just health, food, sleep, exercise, detoxification, and mindfulness behavior, well then in the morning, you want to make sure that you're drinking a good glass of water. You want to make sure that you're getting up and getting sunlight in your eyes. You want to make sure that you're exercising, breaking out in a sweat. You want to make sure that these things go on so that when you actually face the day, that you are prepared for the day, right? So the night before is when you could get your preparation on. It's when you could say to your body and your mind, this is what I want to get done. This follows what I want to be in the future, and then you prepare yourself to get it. Like, you want to get up in the morning and run, put your track shoes or your running sneakers by the door, right? You want to drink more water? Well, pour a glass of water the night before, put it right by your bedstand so that when you wake up in the morning, you're drinking your first glass of water. Little things like that, it's called habit stacking is what I'm talking about, and I get it out of this book right here. So you want to take something that you always do, a habit that you may always do. Like if you wash dishes every day because you're an amazing cook, and after you cook you have to clean up, well then you can listen to an audiobook, or you can listen to this audiobook, or you can do something that you might not want to do. Like if you are in nursing school or in dental school, you could turn on a tape or a video that talks about a certain thing, and you could do that specifically when it's time to wash the dishes, right? Habit stacking is what I'm talking about. This book helped me get my stuff together so that I can do more of these videos. I could get more time in my life, and I feel like I can be more helpful to myself and then share what I've been doing with you so that you can be more helpful to yourself, and then please share what you're doing with the rest of the world. Because this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to live together, love together, commune together, be a community, and just be peaceful, productive members of society for each other. And there's so many things to learn. Reading in and of itself is an energy and an exercise that if you do it, it's gonna make your brain be able to do more things. The more you do, the more you can do. I love this book. This book is amazing. So you wanna make things that Like if it's a cue, you want to make it obvious, right? If it's the craving, if it's the thing that you want to, it's like, I really want to do it. You want to make it attractive. You want to make it look good to you. You want that thing to draw you in. And then in terms of the response, you don't want to make it hard. You want to make it easy. Like if exercise is something that you don't do. And I think I've talked about this before in another video, and I think I got it out of this book actually. If you do not normally go to the gym, fine, okay? And you know that you got to get exercise, but you don't have a lot of time, drop down, give me one push-up, and then stop. Just one push-up. I'm not asking for 10. I'm not asking for 9. I'm asking for one push-up. Now, if you do this one push-up once a day, every day, there you go. You have exercised a little bit, which is actually more than you've done if you don't exercise at all. In the book, he gave an example of a guy that was overweight, that his only thing that he needed to do was go to the gym. Just go there, just be there. And that's what he did. He'd get up, he'd get on his whole suit, his gym clothes, and he'd go to the gym, stand in the gym, and go home. That's what he did. Now that may sound ridiculous, but he did it every day. And then one day he said, you know what? Maybe I should walk on this treadmill. I'm here. I came all the way out here. Let me do it, right? And now what you're doing is you're tricking yourself, or you're allowing yourself, I think that's a better word, you're allowing yourself to do more because you do know what you're supposed to do. You know it inside and out, to the bone. I know that you know. And you're listening to this because you're looking for someone or something to remind you that you know what to do. Now, knowing what to do and doing what you're supposed to do are completely different animals, right? So you're going to have to ease yourself into it. I say even with meditation, we know that meditation is amazing. It keeps you young. It helps you deal with stress better, which is not good for our health, right? So how do you meditate? Do 1 minute a day. 1 minute. You could say, I have no time to meditate. I've got to go. Stop. That's not true. If you could turn on the TV, if you can scroll on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or X, if you could do those things, more than likely you're doing them for more than a minute, more than likely. So all you got to do is say, hey, what am I going to do to make something like meditation attractive? And all you got to do is figure that out, all right? For 1 minute, you're going to find a place in your home. You're going to have the lights on, have the lights off. It's going to be a comfortable chair for you. And you're just going to sit in that chair, make yourself sit down in that chair for 1 minute, breathe deeply in through your nose, out through your mouth. You have meditated. That's it. There's going to be thoughts that are going to come into your mind. If you're listening to this right here, you're going to say, he said, I remember what he said. He'd say that. He said that. And you might remember this one little part while you're trying to stay still for 1 minute. And that's okay. The only thing that you do during that minute is don't judge your thoughts. Let your thoughts come and let your thoughts go, because what you're supposed to be doing is just concentrating and focusing on your breathing. That's it. Do not be mad that you think about your grocery list or a client that you have or something that you have to do next. Don't get mad at that. That happens. That is fine. If you're just starting to meditate, the whole thing about it is just consistency. And once you get consistent with it, you're going to be the person that meditates, right? But one of the things that I really love about the book is that he talks about becoming the identity or becoming the person who is. So, if you are looking to be healthy and wealthy, what does a healthy and wealthy person look like? What do they do on a daily basis that makes them healthy? And then what makes them wealthy, right? So you want to make sure that your body and your mind can identify with that particular person. who you may want to be. So you think to yourself, what would Jesus do? Or what would my healthy, wealthy self do in order to make sure that all these things come to me? And remember, we don't go out and get anything. We don't make it happen. No. That's up to God. We don't do that. But what we do, what we do is we become the person that attracts the things that we want. And in attracting the things that we want, then you get to marvel at how amazing the world is, how amazing God is, how you did or you became the person that you said that you become, and the things that you wanted or want come to you. A nice car, a great job, a beautiful friendship, a beautiful everything, good restaurants, getting to travel, all of those things. You have to be the person that is a person that is a traveler, meaning you have to get your health together. And if you want to travel, you have to get your finances together, because certainly you don't want to go out, spend a bunch of money, and then have to go back to the job and make up for all the money that you spend. No, you're going to have to figure that out. But you do it one step at a time, one habit at a time, and make sure that you identify who you want to be. So, if you have type 2 diabetes, if you are someone that is overweight, and you don't want to identify as someone with diabetes or someone who's overweight, then identify with the healthy person that is in you, and then what would that person do to make sure that the things that they want come to them. Atomic Habits. I don't know if James Clear said all that. I don't know if he said all that. But James, that's what I got out of that. Okay? That's what I pulled out of this. And when you read the book, when you get it, what do you get out of it? If you read the book, man, please share it with me in the comment section below. In the comment section below. Share what you have gotten out of this book when you read it, or if you read it. Because it's part of what Oprah did. It's part of what Bill Gates did. It's part of what Elon Musk did. Now, no, they didn't necessarily read this particular book. They didn't, right? But if we're reverse engineers, which is what we're doing right now, they did have a definitive purpose. They did make sure that they took actions and steps in a consistent basis over a long period of time to make sure that they're living the lives, the fantasy lives that they're living right now. All of them being multi-billionaire people. Now, you may not want to be a billionaire. That may not be your thing. That's fine. You don't have to be a billionaire. That's fine. But you do have to be someone who is able. And if you're going to be able, well then, there's some things that you just have to take into your power, into your consideration, all right? Atomic Habits, y'all. Pick up the book, read the book, read any book, but read this one also, all right? That is really all I want to say about that, all right? Thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. If you got some good value out of this conversation right here, please send it to a loved one, all right? And we're going to talk about some other things a little later.